Dude, what are you fucking doing? Cool. Wow. All squeezes, 200.5k. Holy shit. The only real places to go from here are a better upper bound act on the solo for ticks, and then also using the extended hit window fret trick for the first whammy of the last act, completing that blue sustain that precedes the yellow star power sustain. But I am perfectly happy with this. I need to watch back that last act, see how many frames I had. Had 1 frame of leniency. I took this into TAS for that last act for the first time. I never even messed with it when I was figuring the song out a couple years ago, because I knew that, back then, if I ever got the half bar, I was just gonna go for the easy 200k. But anyway, so in TAS, I think this was like an 8 frame window, which sounds big, but on acts with this much whammy, those frames disappear like that. My half bar act was utterly pathetic, but I just wasn't paying any real mind to it since I was going for last act extra squeezes. So yeah, ticks are pretty bad, but again, I hit 200.5k, so I really don't care. So I feel like I have to address this. For some reason, I just picked up one of my various SGs, and I had like the slightest inkling that it was when I was messing around on GH2. I ended up just plugging this guitar in for a reason I can't even remember, and the whammy bar felt like surprisingly responsive. I know at one point it definitely just like stopped functioning in a state that was usable for upper echelon score grinding at the very least. So anyway, I was just curious because this score got beaten by Cyan. And it's been a while since a score of mine has been beaten in these games, so I didn't really know what kind of motivation I would have. But it at least seeing that I was like fine with it. But I was still curious about this last act, how feasible another at least one more squeeze for 200.3 would be. And then obviously I ended up testing that out. So yeah, on a whim, I just plugged this guitar in, and surprisingly, the whammy bar seems perfect. I haven't had a single issue with it in the hour and a half or so this took. So I don't know what happened there, but I think I'm just going to try to keep this controller in good condition and just kind of bust it out if something like this happens again. Yeah, it is just nice to have one that works apparently in the background. A couple other points to note. It's been about 3 months since I've done an actual squeezing grind. The last thing was Surrender in mid-March. All the Trogdor stuff on Xbox, I wasn't messing with extended hit window or serious squeezing. And so not only am I just very rusty with extended hit window, and my consistency is really bad, particularly on that second act where, I just try to use it to get the act every time and consistently get to the half bar execution, but this guitar also doesn't have the Les Paul back button that I prefer to do extended hit window with because of the increased, more tactile feedback. So yeah, on top of just being rusty with the execution after all this time, I'm not using the hardware on that end that I'm familiar with at this point. And I didn't want to risk opening up the guitar because that could screw something up with the whammy bar. So yeah, extended hit window was a pretty big crapshoot during this little grind here. Again, this didn't take all that long. I wasn't really afraid of the execution of the half bar even after all this time. I was more so concerned going into this that because I wanted to experiment on that last act, I knew that I would really want to do this on NTSC, and more namely on CRT instead of playing through the shitty OBS lag. And as a result of playing on NTSC, I didn't know if the half bar was going to struggle from inconsistency like it does on We Got the Beat, for example. Funny enough, in my TAS this time around on NTSC, I actually produced the half bar for the first time in PCSX2, so that slightly alleviated those concerns, but not really, because it could have just been a lucky run with the way the chart was loaded. But regardless, after all my experience and all the weird things I've found in comparison with TAS and hardware, there could still just be a hardware bias that makes this consistent on NTSC if you perform the execution frame perfect. And I don't think I really noticed any inconsistency with it. It's really hard to tell, but I really didn't have many runs where I got the buffered whammy, felt like I hit the note frame perfectly, and still didn't get the half bar. So I think it is if not perfectly consistent on NTSC, close enough to where it's still worth grinding on here, especially, again, if you're trying to optimize that last act like I was here. So yeah, overall, very happy with this. Really did not expect to get this upper bound last squeeze. Thought I was just going to have to settle for a 200.3 at best. I still really don't have any plans beyond this to keep going, but again, I just didn't know what kind of motivation would hit me when one of my scores actually got beaten. So yeah, here we are, but don't really have anything else in the outlook of my own volition going forward.